Hello again. Yesterday, somebody commenting here said that the term racism had been coined by what he described as Bolshevik Leon Trotsky. Of course, to be precise, Trotsky was in fact a Menshevik. But that quibble aside, is there any truth in the idea that racism was an invention of a left-wing Russian Jew? It ties in neatly, of course, with the whole idea of the great replacement of Europeans in Europe by people from Africa and Asia as a deliberate scheme, masterminded by Jews. The theory is that having plotted in this way as part of a far-reaching plan of the kind one finds in the protocols of the Elders of Zion, that some crafty Jew then came up with the concept of racism as something wicked which white Europeans could be accused of if they objected to being replaced. That way, the modern trend to disapprove of racism becomes just another cunning Jewish plan. Since everybody has heard of Trotsky, real name Bronstein, of course, and we know him to be a communist, what better than to credit him with inventing the word? This is a very amusing idea because just as right-wing folk and anti-Semites attribute inventing this word to a left-wing Jew, so do left-wing people claim that it was the Nazis who first used it. Writing in Racism, a very short introduction, published originally in 2007 by the Oxford University Press, and then comprehensively updated and revised in 2020, Ali Rattansi, a professor of sociology, claims boldly and untruthfully that the term racism was coined in the 1930s, primarily as a response to the Nazi project of making Germany Judenrein, or free of Jews. This is, of course, a variation of Godwin's law, introducing the Nazis into an argument to make a point. In this case, that only a Nazi sympathiser would feel any sort of feeling or agreement with the idea of racism. So, was it the Jews or the Nazis who first came up with this popular word? It was neither. The first recorded use of the word racism is from the United States. In 1902, General Richard Pratt said, "Segregating any class or race of people apart from the rest of the people kills the progress of the segregated people or makes their growth very slow. Association of races and classes is necessary in order to destroy racism and classism." It's unlikely that Pratt coined the term, but this is the first verifiable time that it appeared in print. After all, the other expression he uses, classism, had been circulating for 60 years or more by 1902, so it's unlikely that he simply came up with racism in 1902. I'm sorry to shatter any illusions people might have about the derivation of this word, because the idea that it was Trotsky who dreamt it up is certainly an appealing one. There really ought to be a name for this business of attributing things to Jews in this way. We already have Godwin's law for when we want to blame Hitler and the Nazis for this or that, but there must surely be some expression we could use for this tendency to bring Jews into a debate in the same way. Whether it is immigration, banking, communism or racism, some people certainly seem able to summon up the Jews as the people to blame. I have an idea that some viewers will have observed this unfortunate tendency in the comments here. In the description to this video, I give references to back up what I've just said about the origin of the word racism.